Have you ever had night terrors? Do you see the movements of beings out the corner of your eyes? Have you ever spoken words and minutes later it happened? Are you looking for answers? Then seek them here. Creative Inspiration Radio is now on with your host, Alanda Virarjon.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of Creative Inspiration Radio, also known as Creative iRadio. I'm your host, the Reverend Alanda Virarjon, and, as always, we are brought to you by our friends at daymuse.com. If you have questions about the occult, tarot, necromancy, and paranormal, you'll find answers on daymuse.com. Now, over the past few episodes, we've talked about spiritualism and its rise and fall from mainstream religion. Now let's talk about invocation and its forms. Invocation means to call in. It differs from evocation, which means to call forth. This is the essential difference between the two branches of magic. In invocation, the macrocosm floods the consciousness. In invocation, the magician, having become the macrocosm, creates a microcosm. And in invocation may take any of these four types of forms. Prayer or spells, also known as supplication, a form of possession, conjuration or commanding of the spirit, self-identification with certain spirits. We're going to start off with supplication. As a supplication or prayer, it implies to call upon God, a god or goddess, or a person. When a person calls upon a god, deity, a goddess, it's to ask something. Usually it's for protection or favor, or their spiritual essence in a ceremony, etc. It could just be simply for worship purposes, and it can also be done for a pre-established form or with the invoker's own words or actions. An example of a pre-established text for invocation is the Lord's Prayer. All religion in general use invoking prayers or liturgies or hymns. For some examples, the mantras in Hinduism and Buddhism, the Egyptian coming out by day, also known as the Book of the Dead, the Orphic hymns, and many texts, even in Christianity, again, the Lord's Prayer. They're still preserved. Most are written in cuneiform characters on clay tablets, and they're usually addressed to the shaman, the Ishtar, other deities, etc. As an alternative to prayer, an invocation can be used to be secular. On August 30th, 2012, Dan Nerin, a member of the Humanistic Association of Tulsa, delivered a secular invocation to open a meeting of the City Council of Tulsa. Nerin was invited to perform the invocation as a compromise following a long-running dispute with the City Council over prayers opening meetings. The invocation was written by Andrew Lovely, who was a member of the Southern Maine Association of Secular Humanists, who had previously used the invocation in 2009 to invoke an inauguration ceremony for new city officials in South Portland, Maine. In this usage, it is comparable to an affirmation as an alternative for those who conscientiously object to taking oaths of any kind, be it for reasons of belief or non-belief in religious situations. On our next edition, we will be discussing how invocation is used as a form of possession. If you want to know more about this subject, or you have any other questions about the paranormal, visit daymuse.com. You'll find interesting information on various aspects of paranormal, preternatural, and the occult. They also have workshops and trainings, and how-to guides on performing invocation spells, ritual, magic, etc. You can also subscribe to their free e-zine, which also provides tips on ritual magic, as well as historical tidbits about the occult, religion, spiritualism, and the paranormal realms. Daymuse is spelled DAEMUSE.com. If you'd like any of your questions answered by me on the show, or you'd just like to have a better understanding of spellcasting, send me an email, contact_us@creativeiRadio.com. That's creative, the letter I, radio, all one word, .com. So until next time, keep magic in your heart, breathe deep and exhale your stress back into the universe, and pray for guidance and enlightenment. I'm the Reverend Yolanda Vida-Jean, and I will return soon.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Creative Inspiration Radio with Yolanda Vida-Jean. For more information on paranormal, parapsychology, or preternatural phenomenon, visit us on the web at www.daemuse.com. That's DAEMUSE.com, and take part in one of our informative workshops. Also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Creative iRadio. Until next time, pleasant thoughts and abundance.